Hello all, welcome to Photo Guru. In this session, we will learn how we can edit a dark day external image from scratch to final stepwise. Let's start with it. Firstly, we are going to open today's folder and then raw images folder. In this folder, we can see some images which are from the same property. This is the first image, which is a balcony shot. We can see due to dark weather, there is not enough brightness in this image. While editing, we have to add saturation to the greenery to make it look more cheerful. We have to balance inner and outside lighting properly, so it doesn't give us a hint that it is a dark day. The customer usually did not like to buy a property which is in a dark area, so the dark day is also giving us a feel that the property is in a dark area. Uh, yeah, we can also see a broken wire over here and a broken mesh. So this is what we are going to repair. um, Debris over here need to be removed to make it look more good, but the main thing is that we have to balance the brightness, which is actually a tough thing in this image. uh, let's go on to the next image. This is the exterior shot. We can see that the weather is too dark, and due to the darkness we can't see enough saturation onto the building and also into the greenery, even on the grass. um, we have to edit this image in a way so it look more inviting, and that can be achieved by adding a good brightness and a good amount of color to it. Same with this one. Like the work which we are going to do in this image, uh, same need to be done on this image to look to make it look more inviting and good. So these are the three images. So before starting the editing, let's look at our style guide folder, in which I have already imported one image from our style guide folder. uh, the way this image has been edited, we have to edit our today's images same as it is, because if you look at the rainy day, the dark day, this was even very dark image, and see how much brightness have been applied on this image. Look at the saturation all over. This is looking more inviting. Like, this image is not giving us a hint even that this is in a dark area. So yeah, so this is the same theme image which we have to apply onto our today's editing. So let's start with the process. So first open our raw image folder and select the image which we are going to edit. So this is the image we are going to edit today. So you can see that we have three exposure of one image, and this is single shot and this is single. Sometimes photographer don't take extra shots, the bracketed shots for externals, because in one single external we can see like all the detail. So only one shot has been taken for this in this property, and three for balcony. Because in why in balcony, because uh, you can see that how dark the inside is looking and how dark the outside is looking. So to maintain, it has given the photographer has given uh, three shots in one, the brighter one, from which we can bring out the detail from the inside, and the medium one we can get the detail of the wall, and the darker one we can get the detail of the cloud. So that's the reason we have given 3 for this one and single for this one. So let's start by importing this image to Lightroom. So let's start with our process. So step 1 is importing image to the Lightroom. For this we have to open our today's folder, which I have already opened. To import the image to the Lightroom, just drag and drop it onto the Lightroom icon, but you will see that it is showing some cross mark over here because this is not working in Windows 11. This will work on Windows 10 and below that version. So to import it, while dragging, you have to press Alt Tab, then go to the Lightroom panel and drop it over here, and then click on Import. After doing the step 1, step 2 and step 3 is stacking in HDR. You can see that this is single image. We cannot make this stacking in HDR of it because that both the process need to be done only on bracketed shot with 2 or more shots in it. So let's move on to our next step. Let's open this image. Like you can see in this image, we see the building is looking pretty dark over here. There's too much of darkness over here. The bins need to be removed to make our property look more neat and clean. This football can be removed, and the roof of the car we can see over here, that need to be cropped out, or we have to stamp this out. The alignment need to be done. You can see the verticals are not straight enough. We have to apply a good color to the building and the grass, because due to the dark weather the colors are being suppressed, so we have to get that detail also. So step 4 is lens correction. To get lens correction done, we have to go to develop module. From here we have to drop down, go to lens correction panel, and then we have to switch on remove chromatic aberration and enable profile correction. Now in some cases the enable profile correction works over here because the software is unable to find the lens profile over here. That's the reason we can see none over here. And to remove chromatic aberration, the first one, when you check on it removes 50 or 60% of the chromatic aberration from this image, which is purple and green kind of color. So we are going to leave this step. We don't want to define it, that from which lens it has been, the image has been taken. So we don't have to define it. Let's go downwards, and from here click on constraint and then press auto. Our first thing is supposed to be auto, first priority. Why? Because sometimes by clicking on auto we get the right result, sometimes we don't. So in that case we have to switch it off and then do the manual corrections over here by manual alignment, vertical, horizontal, rotate. So you can see over here that still the verticals are not looking pretty straight. So to get it straightened, we have to click on the vertical slider and then scroll it back, or you can simply click on slide it towards left. So here you can see that the verticals are being straightened and looks good now. If you will click on Y button from the keyboard, which will open before and after window. So this is before and after. So here you can see the difference, that before this was tilting inside and now it is looking pretty straightened enough. So to close the preview and the before and after window, you have to toggle Y to open and Y to close. So step 5 is tonal adjustment. So scroll up to the basic panel, this one. Now we are going to adjust the tone of this image, which consists of exposure, contrast, highlight, shadow, whites, blacks. So all these we are going to use. So let's use first thing first. I'm going to drop it down the highlight to get more detail in this image, especially of the cloud area slightly, but we are not going to make it too much because you can see that now it is making it looks pretty like not good. So slight we have to do, and then we have to increase a bit of exposure, then a little bit of blacks and shadows up. Why I'm moving it up? Because the amount of black is too much in this image, even though the shadow is, so we have to reduce the shadow and blackness in this image. So this slider will help us quite good. So now I'm going to increase contrast. Why? Because whenever we use shadow too much and blacks too much, our image gets sometime faded. To get back the depth in the image, we have to increase the contrast like this. And let's drop it down a little bit more to get the details out. This is fine, like more. And let's press the Y button to see before and after. Okay. Here, if you look at that, how much blacks and shadow have been removed, and it looks good now. We have to selectively apply some brightness over here. So, uh, while doing these adjustment, we also apply brush and masking in order to balance overall lighting. So to select the brush, we have to click on the masking area, this one, the masking tool over here, and then click on the brush. Then increase a bit of exposure with slight blacks and shadows over here. And now we are going to apply over here. But always remember that the brush feather is supposed to be 100, so it doesn't leave patch behind, and flow is supposed to be 40. If you increase the intensity will also increase, so it's best you just put it 40 and density 100. Let's apply it. Okay, let's slightly reduce it because this is looking too much. Okay, that's good. uh, to end this tool we have to press done. Now step 6, white and color balance. To get the white balance done, we have to take this eyedropper tool over here, from here, and then click on the white area. So when I have clicked on the white area, I can see that it have given me too much of warmth in it, but this is too much. So we have to manually reduce it slightly. This is 7. Let's reduce it slightly, and hint slight less, -2. Let's make it 0. Okay, just -1. Done. Let's see before and after. Okay, the walls are now looking good. The brightness is looking fine, and the color is pretty good over here. Uh, let's slightly decrease the vibrance because I see slight more. Okay, okay, this is fine. Step 7, final touch-ups. So in this step, we usually do the final touch-ups, which is related to uh, the tonal as well as the color. So we're going to see if there is like a tonal requirement. So here I'm increasing a bit of contrast and slightly decreasing the blacks and shadows with highlight down, slight contrast, and uh, let's make it 5 to increase warmth. Okay, that's good. So step 8 is maintaining consistency. So to maintain the consistency, I have already edited uh, the other two shots, uh, which I've showed you in, in the starting of this video. Uh, Step 8, maintaining consistency. To maintain the consistency, I have already edited two images which I've already shown in the starting of this video. So let's go to the folder, edited image, and here it is. Here in this one you can see the external, how it is looking, and this one. So we have got this thing over here and this one. So it is looking pretty good, like it is matching. You can see that how I've got the blueness onto the cloud, and the contrast in this image is pretty good. The clarity is so fine, looks very clean. So I think it is matching pretty much. Rest work can be done in the Photoshop. So uh, so now you can see that uh, the the color on the sky, and the sharpness, item removal, and you know uh, a bit of color maintaining, that all can be done into the Photoshop. So step 9 is export with the right settings. To export this image, I am simply going to right click on it, uh, go to export and export. Here you always have to see that the quality is supposed to be 100% and resolution 300. So export it. So here is the folder. So here we can see our exported image. Step 10, importing in Photoshop. To import, again we have to drag, and while dragging we have to press Alt tab, again Alt tab, to go to the Photoshop interface and drop it over here. So now you can see that this image is looking pretty good when we have exported from the Lightroom. Now in Photoshop we are going to remove these plastic bags from here, this football and this dustbin, and this all the uh, chair part and the container, all these we have to remove so our images look more good. Also the same with the car roof, the leftover area of the car, that also we have to remove. And maybe we have to adjust the contrast and a bit of color with added sharpness. So all these things need to be done. So step 11 is adjustment, like brightness control, light bleed adjustment, white balance, color balance, noise reduction, sharpness. So all need to be done in this step. So let's adjust the brightness first. To adjust the brightness, I'm going to click on the here, uh, and then I have to click on brightness and contrast. I have to slightly increase the brightness, close it, and I have to press Control I, because white is always for to reveal and black is for to hide. That's the reason I have hide all the settings which I've applied into this layer. Now I have to take the brush. We can simply press B or click on the brush icon here and take the opacity 12 so it doesn't leave patches behind. To increase the brush size, we can press bracket open and close to increase and decrease the brush size. Now taking the white brush, because we have to reveal the thing. Now to apply the brightness, I'm applying onto that area where the image is looking a bit dark. Switch on and off. Okay, looks good. Now to merge the layer, we have to right click on the above layer and merge down, or you can simply press Ctrl E. Now we have to do light bleed adjustment. I cannot see the light bleed, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is white balance. So to white balance, we can simply take the new layer by clicking on Control J, then Control M to open curves. To take the white balance, we have to press Control Shift and click on the white area, and then here you can see red 205, green 209, blue 2010. That means this is blue is the highest value. We have to copy it. We have to go to the green, paste it. Then we have to go to the red, paste it. Okay. Switch on. While switching on and off, you can see that what kind of effect has been taking place in respect of the color. So you can see that. Again, we have to click on the add layer mask and Control I to hide the things. Now taking the brush with white foreground layer, we are going to apply the color on it where we think it is required. Okay, this is done. Again, to merge down, we have to right click on the above layer and merge down. Now we have to do color balance. To do the color balance, we can take the duplicate of this layer and go to filter, camera filter. From here we can slightly decrease the temperature and a bit of tint slightly. Okay, add layer mask, Control I to invert, take the brush, Control E to merge, or right click and merge down. Now we have to do noise reduction. I don't see that much of noise in this picture, so we can leave this step. Okay. Now to apply the sharpness, we have to take the new layer, go to filter, sharpen, unsharp mask. Now the settings supposed to remain same, 170 amount, radius 1, threshold 0. Press OK. Now if we switch on and off, we can see that how it is affecting. Looking good. Now zoom out and create a mask, Control I to invert. Now take the brush, apply it onto the buildings. And yeah, now to merge, Control E or right click, merge down. Now we have to do item removal, which is step 12. So as I said that we have to remove a couple of items, which is this football, the plastic bags over here. I'm using a stamp tool, clone stamp tool to remove all these stuff from here. For this to take place, we have to alt click and click on an area to get it. Now move it and click and drag. So this is how it works. This is quite simple to do. But we have to take care while stamping that we don't leave patches behind. Otherwise the area look pretty fake. We have to take care of that thing. Our stamping supposed to be smooth enough. Okay. Okay, it's doing quite fine now. So our item removal thing is done. uh, Step 13 is self QA. uh, to self QA, first of all we have to look at our edited images. Okay, now this one. So I think I have to put some blueness onto the cloud over here, and a bit of temperature can be reduced from the grasses and road and from the building too. Let's do it to match it with this image. To apply the blueness, press Ctrl J, go to filter, camera raw, and from here slightly decrease the temperature, slight highlight, and then apply a bit of vibrance, a bit of whiteness to get some okay, the increase whites, and then contrast slightly. Okay, inverse. I'm just roughly taking the selection with the help of quick selection. So just roughly taking, and then taking the brush to apply uh, the adjustment onto this area. Okay, Control E to merge. Again, go back to the image. Okay, again Control J to duplicate the layer. Go to filter, camera filter, and from here slightly decrease of exposure temperature, and a bit of whites increase on the white, a bit of contrast, slight black, light tint, and press OK. Now go to the image. Okay, this is looking quite similar now. It is matching. Control E to merge the upper layer. Okay, this is looking good. Now we have to check the alignment. To check the alignment, we have to again Control J to duplicate. Go to Edit and then Free Transform. And to enable the guides or grids, press Control and in a semicolon or inverted comma. Now I can see that it is vertically aligned enough, which is looking good. So no need to align. Merge the layer, and now step 14 is resize. To resize this image, we have to go to Image and Image Size. From here, we have to switch on the link, the constraint proportion, and then write 2500, and it's supposed to be 1667. Like this thing happens sometimes that one pixel it goes down or up. So to get it corrected, we have to switch it off and then write 1667 and then press OK. And then we have to Control S and save it. So this is our final output. This is what we send to our clients. I hope this video is useful enough to learn a new thing. Thank you very much.